Hey loves, I've been asked in a bunch of different forms for a while in my life and my business around why did something happen? Why did the number signs or my intuition or the universe or spirit guide me to do something when it turned out like this, bad, when it didn't meet my expectations of what I wanted to happen? And this was prompted by a message that I got in my inbox, and I felt really called to sharing it and going into a little bit more depth of doing it on a video instead of just like some voice messages. So there's so many different things that come through for this, and I used to be the same. I used to ask myself why things would happen, why relationships wouldn't work out how I thought that they should, why I was called to do something if it didn't end in the exact, and I'm getting messages from the person, so I'm like trying to not get distracted and focus on the content that I'm feeling called to share. Okay, so let's start with personally, I've been there. I have at different times in my life questioned why things happen and gotten stuck in my pain around why things happen, and the energy of like the victim mentality of why did this happen to me, what was wrong with me, why did I feel like I had to do this and then it not work out. Like I kind of got stuck in those energies, so I can totally relate and understand being in that place in my life and wondering why, like, it tends to come up around relationships a lot. So like, why did that not work out, or why didn't we like have the like fairy tale everything works out beautifully and get married and all the things, or why did I fail that test, or why did I not have this thing line up in like career business how I wanted it to line up. So I feel that getting stuck in the why, like just being like in that victim energy, and like you can kind of feel the different energies as you have more experiences on your journey. But I feel like unfortunately some people will get stuck in the victim energy instead of just being like, okay, this happened, what lessons can I learn from it and move on. Some people can unfortunately get stuck in the why did this happen to me, what did I do, especially in relationships, like what did I do wrong, what was wrong with me, what makes me someone that the partner that I had could reject or could abandon or could just like break up with out of the blue, or could do this too, or what could I have done better, what could I have said, what could I have changed within myself. Like I feel like those are the unhealthy places that sometimes people can get into like negative downward spirals around the why question. So I just want to like bring awareness that I've been in those areas. Like I send you so much love if you're in that energy, or if you're feeling like you're in a downward spiral around why are these things happening in your life. And I want to encourage you to see it in a different perspective of everything in your life is happening for you. It's happening for your highest and best good and for your optimal health. And every single thing in your life is made for you at like a soul contract level, like before you enter your human life, for this beautiful like divine timing, this divine order of how your life's going to play out, so you can learn the different lessons and tools and values and characteristics, and that you can get the clarity that you need of what you don't like. Unfortunately, sometimes us as humans, we like the polarity to see what we really don't like, to get really clear on what we do want and what we do desire. And then that supports us in choosing those things and having new standards of the things that we really do want and desire. So I encourage you to, instead of focusing your energy and attention so much on like, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen? Why do these things keep happening? And instead flip it to, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful that I'm learning lessons and I'm developing myself and my character and the version of myself into the person that I need to be for all these things to happen. And it can happen in business too. Like there's so many light workers in their business, or entrepreneurs or solopreneurs who get into that experience too. And I was having this conversation the other day with someone about like starting Facebook Live videos or starting webinars or starting their first offerings and not having like 100 people come in, and like only being able to serve like one person or a couple people, or only have like 10 people show up to a Facebook Live or a webinar or something that they planned or put energy or attention in. And I was telling them about all the different seeds that they're planting with their people, and all the different tools and lessons and incredible experiences they're having by doing these things, even if it's not fully matching like the expectations in your head. So I'm totally like being pulled of like two different energies of the relationship type questions that I've been getting, and also pulling it into like the entrepreneurial world where this also sometimes happens to people. So let's go with that entrepreneurial energy for a moment, because that's coming through really strongly that someone's dealing with. So I was sharing a personal experience from that, where like back in 2015 I started posting like inspirational quotes and messages, and was kind of in like that area of just like wanting to positively inspire people and wanting to just like put more love and light and goodness and inspiration and motivation and hope into the world. And I started like connecting with people like then, and then when I started my business in 2017, I started to actively post content and Facebook Lives and do webinars and workshops and all these things. And I was sharing that some people who have become clients even in 2019, like I can scroll back in Facebook messages, and they were interested, like they marked interested in some of the very first events that I did, or free challenges, or like webinars or workshops. Like I can go back and kind of see their interest, and it was just like little seeds that planted and served them and supported them and met them exactly where they were at on their journey. And I provided so much value to them over time, and I grew as a leader, as a coach, as a healer, as a light worker in offering all of those things. So I like will freely share that I've had launches where no one shows up for it. Like I've had workshops where I've canceled it because there's not enough people or no one signs up for it. I've done webinars with just a couple people on. I've done group things with just a couple people on there. Like I have served people at the sold out level of workshops and things, and at the souls who are showing up, or the souls who I need to serve, and I'm learning so many things. And it's really important to perceive everything of life as just like learning lessons and building on all the different beautiful blocks of the next level version of yourself that you're creating. Because also for that like business example, if you showed up on a Facebook Live and it went viral and 1 million people were watching, and all of a sudden you have 1,000 people who are like signing up for something or who want to be a one-on-one client, like do you currently have the infrastructure in your life or your business to all of a sudden serve like 1 million people watching, and like to go from like 100 people watching to like 1 million, and have like thousands of people wanting to be served and supported by you? Like that would be unfortunately perceived as like a curse. It would be overwhelming, it'd be too much. So the way that this life works is that we build on all of these beautiful steps on our journey as we're ready, as we're called. We're shown how to support and serve the people who are ready for us now at the level that we're ready for right now. So that could just be like your one friend who gets inspired by you, or that you share a book or a recommendation or a lesson or an experience that you just had, and you're supporting them at their level where they're at, and then supporting more people and getting to the place where you can hold bigger containers for other people, especially if you're in like the light working world, so that you can build on how you're showing up, how you're building your business, how you're structuring your business, how you can serve people at different levels, at different places in their life. So I feel like it's very important for us also as like a society to reframe the expectations of what's good and bad. Because just because something didn't fully happen, or you didn't get like the income number that you wanted this month, or the amount of people in a group program or a workshop or as one-on-one clients, doesn't mean that it's bad, doesn't mean that it's wrong. And just because you were in a relationship and it didn't end in happily ever after, 2.5 kids and white picket fence, doesn't mean it was bad, or that it served no purpose, or that the universe let you down, or that your intuition was wrong. It just means that your expectations and what your mind's saying, or what your ego's saying, or what other people are saying, or other people in the society are negatively criticizing you around could be calling it bad, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have that viewpoint and that you have to have that belief system around it. So to get back into the relationship experience that someone was sharing with me what had happened, and was wondering why their intuition was telling them things and why it felt good, and then why it ended up being, quote, bad. Their words is bad. I'm like, there's not really good or bad. I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason, and that everything is always happening for my highest and best good and my optimal health. And the people in my life and the clients who adopt that frame of mind have so much more strength and resiliency and a positive outlook. And it's not just like, oh, let's like be optimistic and not deal with our human emotions. Like, it's so important to deal with the sadness and the grief and the loss and whatever other human emotions are coming up for us, to let our emotions move through us and not just like suppress them and be like, it's totally fine, this like really shitty thing that happened, it's for my highest and best good, let's just like move on. Like, it's also important to deal with what that brings up for us, and to fully learn the lessons and integrate the characteristics or the experiences, or to embody the next level version of yourself through what you're being called to learn and what you're being called to show up for. That it's important to do that healing work and not like spiritually bypass things. That it's so important for us to take that time to learn the lessons of what's coming up without being stuck in the why did this happen to me. So I hope that that makes sense. The different energies of learning and growing and understanding that you had to take this step before the next one. And sometimes it is unfortunately just time, and like hindsight's 2020, and it can give you that clarity of why that happened. Like, I can look back onto my life, in my relationships, in my business, in all aspects of my life, and really see, okay, that bad thing that I labeled bad, I'm so grateful for it happening, because if that, quote, bad thing hadn't happened, all of these beautiful other things that lined up for this path wouldn't have happened. So it's very, very important to, in the moment when you're like going through those harder times and where you're like, this is just bad and overwhelming and I'm in pain and I don't understand why this happened, to let yourself release that, quote, bad label that you have on it, and be open to seeing the silver lining that you can be grateful for it in the moment right now, or to even be like, in the future, I know that I'm going to be grateful for this because I have the belief system that things are always working out for my highest and best good. Things are happening for me, and I know that in time I will see why this happened, and I trust that there is a greater purpose and a greater reason for it, and that belief system will very much serve and support you. And the energy around intuition, around people sometimes blaming their intuition or number signs or whatever their like guidance was, to be like, it told me it was good, it was going to be good, I tried to go with that, and then it was bad. It's also very important to actually look back at what that was actually feeling like. And I feel like I'm trying to remember the book, the Warrior Goddess Training Program book, Warrior Goddess Training, I think it's called Warrior Goddess Training. She talks about people who can sometimes blame their intuition, and sometimes it wasn't their intuition. That you can get clearer and clearer on what messages you're actually getting from your intuition versus a wound that you have when you go back and reflect on the situation, because sometimes you can feel in your body that you're being called to this super attractive guy or this experience, and then when it doesn't necessarily end up in the result that you had expected or wanted it to, then you can kind of look back and be like, okay, I can see how in reflecting on that for the intention of what can I learn and grow from here and how can I improve myself, you can look back and reflect and be like, okay, was it just my wound attracting their deep wound? Was it really feeling good in my body? Were there red flags or signs that were showing up that I wasn't necessarily open to fully seeing until I got this clarity on this side? Was I truly following my intuition, or was I kind of blindly going with it and had rose-colored glasses on and were just wanting to do it for other reasons, and it wasn't the universe guiding me, it wasn't my intuition, it was actually myself attracting another wounded person, and our wounds were attracting each other in that certain scenario. So I feel like that takes time to trust your intuition when you've blamed it. So I would definitely recommend not just like blaming the universe and blaming your intuition for the bad things that happen in life. That instead, it's so important to have a very healthy, open communication relationship with your higher power, with the universe, with your intuition, so that you can trust it and that you can tune in to the incredible wisdom that you have within your body. And you can rebuild that just by like checking in. So you can check in with yourself so that you let your body know, you can let your gut know, your intuition know that you do value it, that you do create time and space in your life and in your body and your energy for it, so that you can start to trust it more and that you can give it more space to speak up, and that you can really show it that you do appreciate it and that you value what your intuition and your body's saying. And it can literally be as simple as setting an alarm clock for 3 times a day, so it can be in the morning, the afternoon, or at lunchtime if you're like in a 9 to 5 world, and then in the evening, or if you're like, I can't do it during the day, then the morning, right after work, and then kind of later in the evening. Have 3 times a day where you're just like, this alarm's gonna go off on my phone or on your Google Calendar or whatever you like to do to remind you, and I'm going to consciously check into my body. And it could tell you that like right now you need a drink. So it can be as simple as being like, I'm kind of thirsty. Check mark, you listen to your body and you did something around it. And at the beginning, it can be very much focused on just your awareness that those 3 times a day you're going to check in and be like, okay, I'm like really hungry, or I'm kind of tired, and just checking in for the awareness, or this isn't feeling great, like the work that I'm doing is really stressing my body out. I would definitely benefit from deep breaths here. So just checking into the awarenesses that your body's showing you. And then the next step to that would be to act on it. So like I just did, to be like, oh, I'm checking in and I'm a little bit thirsty, to go getting a glass of water and drinking it. Or checking in and finding out that you're tired, to committing to yourself that you'll have a nap when you get home, or that you'll go to bed an hour earlier, or whatever you need to do to serve and support your body in the way that it's asking you to. And I find that the more committed I've been to checking in with my body, to loving myself, to doing the things that my intuition nudges me to do, the stronger and more clearly I can sense what I'm being called to do. And it just gets like deeper and stronger with time, just like any other muscle. Like the more you use it, the more strong and capable it is. So I feel like that can be a very supportive thing if you are wanting to more deeply connect with your body, to check in with yourself. So I'm like, I could go on and on and on about belief systems of why things happen and the whole labeling of good and bad of things, but I don't want to have like too long of a video for this. So definitely let me know if this has served and supported you in the comments below. Let me know if like you had any insights, or if you're like, yeah, committed to checking into your body now. I would love to engage with you guys afterwards. I know that there's been some people popping on and popping off, and I encourage you to reframe in the future what those bad things are, because you don't really know if things are good or bad. Hindsight's 2020, and I know that there's been so many times in my life where I want to label it bad, or I have labeled things bad, where a year later, 6 months later, 5 years later, I'm like, that was such a blessing. I am so grateful that the universe prevented me from the things that really weren't gonna serve me. And I'm so grateful for the directions and the paths that I was led on that have been unbelievably supportive and loving and incredible for me, and that my old human little mind wouldn't have known that that's what I wanted. Like, I remember when I was watching like the Shade Hearts when I was younger, that Shay would talk about like, this is a dream of a dream that I didn't even know that I could have, that you can be open to all the abundance, all the like limitless potential of your life, all the like even more incredible happiness and fulfillment and amazing things. And I'm like, this is kind of getting me onto the rant that I just did. Well, not rant, but like the tangent of you can expect this or better from the universe and be open to it being even more incredible and even better than you could have ever imagined. Like, the 2015 version of me thought that I was going to be helping people in my 40s or 50s. So like, the life that I'm living now is far beyond the dreams that originally popped up there. So to also be open to the quote bad along the way, the like things that didn't work out exactly how you thought that it should. Like, there's people, unfortunately, even in the light worker world, who don't have backgrounds in business, who unfortunately feel, or they have a viewpoint or belief system of watching a select number of people who like astronomically shoot off in their business in the first year, and then they're like, I'm gonna quit my job and then like next month be a 6-figure business person, and then by the end of the year be a millionaire. Like, amazing. If you manifest that, amazing. I celebrate you, and that's amazing. But unfortunately, I've seen some light workers who get extremely discouraged when they launch one thing and it quote fails, or when they're in a first year of their business and they're experiencing a loss, and like loss isn't like negative profit, like it's not profitable. And I have a business background, like I have a degree in accounting, so I know that in your first year of business, if you break even, you're super lucky. That like 90+% of businesses don't make it to 10 years. So I feel like there are a lot of different ways that we can have communication and viewpoints and conversations around this that would like go into way deeper videos. So if any of these areas are like interesting you, we can definitely go deeper. I literally just did a video in my free Bliss community around having a new standard of your life of like this or better. So if you want even more on that, I literally just talked about it, but I'm like, there's so many other areas where I could bring that conversation to. So I have other ideas for future videos, but if you want specific topics answered first, definitely let me know in the comments or send me a private message. This video is literally inspired by someone who was asking that question, and I've answered it for so many of my soul sisters that I feel like it would benefit a lot more people if I did a public video on it to support you guys with your questioning of why are these things happening to me, and why do bad things happen, or why did I think it was going to be good and then it turned out bad. So I'm sending you guys so much love, and I hope you have a wonderful day.